what do you like? How do you react in like your mind when people are just fucking throwing like child abuse allegations like at
Well, I
you?
mean, part of it's frustrating because a lot of it is from a lack of information. So when the in the search warrant, like one of the CPS calls was mentioned. Now, these calls happen when somebody decides they don't like something, and so they call in. But CPS ignored those calls for us. Now, I've been fucking swatted. I've had CPS call a couple CPS calls. It turns out they don't tell you. You have these couple CPS calls go through, and they decided that they weren't worth looking into. But then when they get incorporated into a search warrant, even though they were completely ignored by CPS, but for some reason that's not explained, they decided that this is the basis for a search warrant, or part of the basis for a search warrant. People then go, oh, this must be a true thing. And it's like, well, no, that doesn't make it true at all. And I haven't really been able to talk about any of that because, you know, the determinations by CPS are part of the case. So until those come out, and, you know, probably when the case is done, I got to kind of just keep quiet about it. But I can't really be mad about people thinking that way either, because, well, what the fuck are they supposed to do? They don't have the information. So I just sit there and I have to deal with it. Or like there's a bunch of people like, you gave your child cocaine. It's like, really? Is that like, you really think that's what's going on? Okay, I guess if that's what you need to think, but that's not even alleged. That's not even alleged by Child Protective Services or the state in my case. So people come to these conclusions rather than going, man, this looks really odd. These test results seem strange. And me going, yeah, they're pretty fucking weird, aren't they? They're like, no, they must be 100% accurate and they must mean this other thing. And you're like, I can't really talk about any of this, which kind of fucking sucks. Cause, you know, that's the way these cases go. You don't want to say anything at all, because if you say something, you know, they'll try and use it against you in some weird way. And it's like, well, I don't know. I know what didn't happen. I know for a fact what didn't happen. So I kind of know that like a lot of the narrative out there around some of these things is just completely, it's fiction. But again, people have only the information that they get. So you just have to kind of suck it up and deal with it while the government's like staring you down the barrel of the fucking Liberty gun. And you have to just wait and let people have their opinions. It sucks, but that's what you got to do. Look, if people are really confused about a lot of the shit in the case, and like, they're like, holy shit, this is a surprise. You're not alone. They're being a surprise on some of this really outrageous shit. But you know, like the process of going after that stuff and going after that, first of all, the process of getting that information is a whole fucking story. And then the process of going after and trying to correct what has to be erroneous is like, you can't just be like, nuh-uh. Some people are like, well, why don't you just bring clean drug tests to the government and get your kids back? It's like, oh, you think I don't have a fucking litany of clean drug tests to give into the government? They just don't give you your kids back. It doesn't work that way. It'd be amazing if it did, but there's a lot of people that could get clean drug tests and just hand them over, but they wouldn't be clean. Luckily for me, I'm clean. That was easy as fuck. So it's like having the clean drug tests is great, but you can't just give them to the government and have them say, oh, sorry. They don't do that. They come up with a story, just like everybody in the chat has a story and they have to fill in the pieces. And your story is not the one that they've come up with. I promise you, no matter who you are in the world, when the government comes up with a story about you, whatever they come up with is not right. Even if yours might be worse, but theirs is incorrect because only you have all the details. Well, you don't just get to tell them, well, let me tell you the details and then you'll change your mind, because they've made up their mind on their story and they don't care what facts you have, because now confirmation bias is at play. That's why the court system exists. I have to wait for the court's timeline to fight against all this shit. And that's why there are rules and processes to do all of this. But, you know, the internet isn't a place to wait for answers. The internet is a place where we go, I want to know now. I want to know, because the story, right? It's salacious. It's exciting. It's fucking insane. And I'm sitting here going, God, I'm hearing the story and it sounds way more interesting than my life. and it's horrifying, but it's like, I know that's not actually the truth, but yeah, I have to tell the story somewhere else. It really fucking sucks. Cause I like telling stories all the time.